Hello, welcome to the UNRELATED podcast. I'm Niall, and how are we today?
Couldn't be better.
Yeah, I'm here.
He's here.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Are you okay?
Amazing.
Has anything dodgy happened this week, to be honest with you? Has anything dodgy happened?
Zuma kicked his cat across the living room.
That did happen, did it? Zuma did kick his cat.
Who was it?
Was it? What's his name?
On a half volley.
Yeah,
Was it across his kitchen?
I
Yeah.
bet.
That is a bit
Slapped it
mental.
as well.
He smacks it.
Slapped his cat and
You
he
just got
volleyed
a
it
cat
across the
key.
kitchen.
To be fair, I don't think there's any point where I look at a cat and think that's that much of an issue where I have to kick it across the kitchen.
Have you seen that one where they put the cat in the bin?
They put a cat in a bin.
Yeah.
They, who's
Is that
like,
Zuma too?
I don't know, but it just
Is
happened
this
on
the
a
video
video.
you found?
Yeah.
Just happened.
that is pretty mental.
They showed it in RE in our
There's
school.
7 billion people in the world. Someone's bound to have put a cat in a bin at one point.
Yeah.
Was it dead? Or was it
They
just
showed it in
It showed you in RE?
Yeah.
Why? How's that?
I
This
don't
cat
know,
has
I
been
don't
put in a
know.
bin. How do we show religion?
What the fuck are you all on about?
It shows the symbolism between Jewish and Christian culture.
Ah, I see.
Wait, so okay, what was the topic of the RE?
I've totally forgot.
To be fair, I would forget if the main thing that happened was a cat being put in a bin.
Yeah.
I probably would forget everything that's on that entire lesson.
Sounds exciting if you ask me.
It does sound pretty exciting. How old were you?
Great input, Ben.
Well, the woman who put the guy in the bin,
The guy, it was a
the
cat.
cat in the bin, was about 40, so she's probably
But
carrying
I mean like how
Midlife
old were you
crisis.
in the lesson? Like how old would you be in?
about 12.
Oh my god. Wait, so like okay, was the cat like struggling or was it like just? Was
It
it
was
like
just sat on the wall, right, and then this woman got annoyed at the cat.
Wait, what type of bin? Was it like a big wheelie bin or was it
It's
just like a
Like a
flip
small
kitchen
wheelie bin that you get home.
A small wheel.
Yeah.
Small wheel.
I don't know. They
Yeah.
had small wheelie bins.
Like-
Just like a normal, just a
It's
normal
like one of the ones where the lid flips
Yeah.
up when you step on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
not
right.
when you step on it, no, but just like
Like just a standard trash can.
yeah, just a standard
right.
bin.
Trash
that
can.
is
Trash-
really weird.
Well, how wheelie bin?
Trash.
I don't know how to describe
Just the
it.
bin. Just a bin.
It's just a bin.
So it's
What
not.
colour?
What colour?
Yeah, no.
I don't remember.
Are they recycling the cat or are they just putting it in the general waste?
Or is it like
For the
plastic waste?
environment.
I don't know this much.
Was it
As
garden
well.
waste?
Probably, yeah.
It makes sense to be garden waste.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
make
because they
sense.
turn into like fossil
Yeah,
fuels.
because
and
what
shit,
the...
don't
Yeah.
A cat turns into fossil fuel.
they? No, it does.
It does do that actually.
It turns into a fossil. Right, Noah, what happened at Robin Wood? Did anything notable happen?
Well, we went over the time limit on the piranha pool, but we didn't die.
Really?
You'd always get that.
Wonder why.
You'd always get that one guy that just stayed behind, just to see if they were really there.
In fact, the most eventful thing that happened at our Robin Wood was in like, the bedroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
The
toppled
bedroom
over.
was the best part, like with the bunk beds.
Oh,
And then they got concussed.
But they were the
You had a
best
bad
by a
education.
What the
far.
fuck is Robin Wood? Like, I don't even know what
Innit,
he's all
same.
about.
GDP
We got
Yeah.
there,
It was
and it's just got a load of activities to do.
And it was
You probably did
limbs,
PGL.
bro. The bedtime.
Wait,
I was
no,
with
do you
all
know-
my
do you know
mates in a
you got
bunk.
3
It was
warnings.
limbs, bro. It was so good.
You got 3 warnings. You got rid of them all. You get kicked out apparently. We got like 10 warnings, and I
Do you
nearly
know
got
that camera?
concussed by a bed toppling over.
What happened to being
So-
a nerd?
Yeah. What happened to getting
Thought
top
you was
grade?
Bit of a top grade geek.
I thought he was a nerd.
I was. I didn't have to share the room with the people who weren't.
He's a rebellious nerd.
Oh my god, so you put the nerdy kid in the room with all the
I was
all
meant
the
to look after him all, but then they took to the bed I was on over, and I was on the top bunk.
Little Mikey.
Okay,
Little Mikey's in our room.
What a nerd, he's not invited to the proms. Let's do a dance. Wait, so you two weren't never went to
I
Robin
never
Wood?
went to Robin
No, I didn't go Robin Wood.
Did you not have PGL now?
No, I don't know
What the
what
fuck
that
is
is.
PGL?
So you had no like adventure trips?
Oh no, we did.
Like
It was
what
in
then?
fucking Wales. It's called Clitheroe.
Clitheroe.
That just sounds boring.
That just sounds like
Shit, there was
that's
a
a
bat
tram
found
stop.
in my shoe.
Did you like
That
go
sounds
with
like a
bat
Welsh
in
city
your
full
shoe?
of like corner shops.
Batty
That's what it is.
No, there was like a hotel and there was loads of activities. And then one kid, right, so we was all like in our rooms. I was really funny, so I came out, knocked on all the girls' doors and ran back in every room. And then they all started like having a go at everyone. And then everyone's out of the room, and then like I think this kid had his shoe off, and he goes to put his shoe back on, and a bat flies out of his fucking shoe.
Been there for 50 years.
A bat.
Yeah, a bat, an actual bat. Like, not a baseball bat, a flying bat.
Yes, like a flying bat.
Yeah, he's not got a baseball bat in his shoe.
Or
Fun
wheel
fact,
hanging.
bats are not blind. I went to, I think it was Robin Wood, and it was with, it was at the start of high school, and you know where everyone goes to high school, and you have some kids from your old primary school, and they all group together, and so there's like groups of different primary schools in the high school, if you know what I mean. And so we're basically in two different dorms. There was one high school that was in one dorm.
Which dorm were you in?
I was in my high school's dorm, though.
Right, okay.
I don't know the name of it. It was probably just like dorm A. There was only two, I think.
Right.
And I remember there was just an argument between these two guys. It was in year 7, and there was just an argument going on between these two kids. And one of the kids just gets off his bunk bed, picks the other kid up, and knees him that hard in the ribs, and then just drops him into the darkness because the room was that dark. So this kid just disappears he's lying on the floor, and this guy just gets back in bed and goes for a nap. And then we go, wait, where's that kid? And we look on the floor, and he's still there. So in the darkness of the floor, there's just a kid who's been like hitting the ribs that bad that he just can't physically get up, and he slept there. But he got his revenge. It's like a bit of a revenge story now, because he got back up eventually after the guy went to sleep. And this was his revenge plan. You heard this? The most petty thing. He put a cream egg on his cheek and it melted into his face as he slept. All into his hair. So he woke
Didn't even
up.
get to eat it.
That's
Yeah,
evil.
he woke up with a cream egg into his hair. But
It's not that bad.
It's not
He lived up to his like criminal origin story.
yeah. It's the start of a Saw film. This is how it started. This is how he like punished the evil.
Do you know where this kid is now?
I'm not allowed to say anything really because it's quite sad what happened. What ended up happening to that kid, so we won't even say much. But there was two dorms really, and they were both opposite each other down a small corridor. And obviously because we all hated each other because we're all from different high schools, Jack's touching my earlobe.
Sorry, go on.
He's giving it a nice stroke. Anyway, we were like, how? So when we were out doing activities, I'm being groped. When we were out doing activities, they stayed in because it was like one group went out doing activities, the other one goes on, blah blah blah. And they snapped round. They snuck round. That's the word, isn't it?
Crept.
Is it crept? I'll say crept.
is a bear.
Creeped.
They creeped
So-
into our room and stole all our sweets.
No.
Which is
Sweet
at
bondage.
year 7 level is basically like
What
That's
sweet
like, that's like
robbery?
that's
killing your
a
parents at that
heist.
point. And then
Did you
it's
say it?
So we were just there like, okay, we need to get revenge.
Obviously.
So
Gotta get revenge.
I remember all the guys went down the corridor at night. I stayed in my bed because I'm a pussy. I looked at the doorway, and they were just stood there with a plastic water bottle that they put a hole of like a needle through the top of the lid instead of just taking the lid off. And he was just sat there squirting it on the door, not doing anything to the kids inside, just squirting water on the door. And I just sat like dedication, like both hands on it. Like, he was dedicated to it. I was thinking that is a Mong move. He comes back and he goes, "But watch this. It's part of a master plan." Started getting bog roll from the toilet and started throwing it on the door, so it like stuck to the water. Their door disappeared in toilet roll. Their door, the entire corridor was just drenched in both water and toilet paper. That's just a bunch of year 7s having a bit of a clan war. I remember just the teachers coming in and going, "Guys, it's 10 a.m. Get to bed." Have you seen how late it was?
10 a.m.
10
Go on,
a.m. That was late for year 7.
10 a.m.
AM.
In the morning.
10 a.m. Lights
Oh
out.
my dick, 10 p.m.
10 a.m. Get to
10
sleep.
a.m. Get to sleep.
Just fucking woke up.
10 p.m. And I think it lasted till about 2 a.m. So,
Oh.
it, was,
devils.
it was a bit of a
You
war.
absolute
going
devils.
Are we going to talk about drugs?
on. Should they be legalised?
Oh.
Someone to his drug.
What are you on about?
To an extent, I think they should be legalised. To an extent.
Yeah, it depends
To an
on the
extent.
Because, like, think it, pure cocaine is not bad for you. It's not bad at all. The only reason cocaine is addictive and bad for you is because the way people make it, they put like battery acid in, like car batteries in it and stuff, bro.
And it keeps you alive when you're drunk. Like
Yeah.
when you're really drunk, and if you do some coke, you'll stay on your feet. And if someone walks through a door that you don't know, you're just like, fuck this guy. I could take him. Like, you walk past everyone. I remember I was in town, and I don't know why I was in town, and I was drunk, and I was like, right, you know, bit of stuff. And there's a bouncer, massive, big, like, guy. Yeah, he was black. I didn't think I'd need to mention that, Harry.
Yeah,
So.
Harry, come on.
But yeah, he was massive, like proper big guns. I was like, I reckon I could take him. My mate's like, Jack, shut the fuck up. I could take him. I was literally about to walk up to him and just fight him, and I don't know why, but I was gonna fight him.
So is this a case with both drugs being legalised or not?
No.
I go around fighting black guys. Yes.
No.
Make it legal.
No, I don't even know why coke would be legalised.
So pure crack, what it does to you is it just makes you makes you focused. So
You can also die.
yeah, you can, but in
If you take
controlled
too much, you can like die in like 30
in
minutes.
controlled conditions, it's not the worst for you. Like Sherlock Holmes in the books used to take it because that was a common time period to take crack cocaine. You just take it and be focused.
Is Sherlock Holmes fictional though?
Yes, but that did happen. that would happen in those time periods because crack cocaine was pure. So just taking it would keep you just focused. So I think eventually there might be a time where it's like, oh, I need to focus on my maths work. I'm just next to the shop. Kellogg's branded crack cocaine.
Yeah.
That's pure crack cocaine.
He said like,
Snap,
Done.
crackle.
yeah,
Snap, crackle, and crack. Yes.
Has anyone here taken any drugs? And I don't want you all to be like really funny. Go, oh yeah, I had paracetamol the other week. Like, has anyone here actually taken drugs?
I had paracetamol the other week.
You know what? I did have coffee.
Bit of cowpole.
No, but I mean like
Hay fever tablets.
weed.
Anything that's illegal.
Yeah, anything that's illegal.
I've done weed, that's it.
You've done
The
weed.
weed.
Yeah, it's
Why is that shocking for everyone?
I've just, you know what, Ben? I'm not even trying to like come at you or anything, but I don't really hear you speak, and for you to like just be really quiet and just go, "I've done weed." It's
Yeah.
kind of mind blowing.
No, but I think like because he's quite a quiet kid, I think it was quite funny if he just went, yeah, I've done quite hardcore.
Yeah, I think if you was on weed, Ben, you'd be the funniest kid.
Done every drug on the list.
Yeah, somebody just even more quiet. He just stands there and kind of like just staring at a wall.
That's pretty much what I did. I sat on the sofa, just lay down for a good 3 hours. It weren't great, to be honest. No, 'cause the first time I did it, it didn't do anything. So then we did it a week later, and it just made me a bit.
Did you do it with your dad?
Yeah,
Was it smoking or brownies?
brownies.
bonding experience.
Because if you're having brownies, it depends on how much you put in. Because if you don't put in enough, then you could literally have it and not have an effect. That's all.
Yeah, I think that was the first time.
Yeah.
And so I could feel some at the second time, but it just weren't
Was it a brownie?
great. Yeah, it was brownie again, but it just didn't do much really. Just made me feel a bit tired.
What about you, Jack? What drugs have you done? Let's not get into it.
I've not actually done that many. I've only done.
Do we
Wow,
have
I
enough time?
Fucking hell, Michael. No,
Sort of drug
He
I've-
pulls out his list. He pulls out his scroll.
I've done. I've done Mary Jane, Sweet Mary Jane. Yeah, the devil's lettuce. That's what it is.
Marriage, if you want.
Yeah, so I've done weed. I've done cocaine,
Cocaine.
and I'm not proud of this,
Oh no.
but I did do ketamine. Which is, I'm not a drug guy. Like,
Sure.
I'll do weed, yeah, but I don't count as like.
Weed
but, like,
crap.
when I
I'm not a
say-
drug guy.
Didn't you
Yeah.
share a needle?
No, bro,
Not enough.
needles. I
Wait,
didn't.
how did you take it?
So this is a weird thing to say, but basically I went to a football match, Man United.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Mm.
I went to it, and then I went to a pub. Me and my mates drinking, or me and my mate, and then we went in the ground, and then Ben, you go to the games with your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I got mates to go with. You got fuck all to go with. Alright.
Goes
So-
goes with his
I was
teddy
telling
bear.
the story how I went to the game with my friend, and you go, oh, you only got one mate.
Have him. Go on, scrap him. I'm
Go
not
on,
a
tell
guy.
us
I'll tell the story.
Is that get some coke?
And then I went into the ground. Tills are open at that time, having beers and stuff. Because I know the tills.
They do serve anyway.
Yeah, the tills
The
weren't
tills.
open the other day. But I mean, like this experience was ages ago.
Oh right.
And then we went, got beers. We're drunk at this point.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I need a piss. I was like, sweet, let's go for a fucking piss. Because I broke my seal. So I'm pissing. So I go to the toilets, have a piss.
Broke your seal.
Yeah, what's
When
wrong?
you've
You know,
drunk
loads
yeah,
of
yeah.
wee for the first time,
So-
then just wee forever.
Oh.
Yeah, so when you constantly pissing,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Right.
So I went to the toilet, went for a piss, and then I'm like, alright, walking past all the people having cigs and stuff, and my mate goes, where you going? I was like, oh, and he goes, yeah, pulls out a wallet, and then he's got a little tiny compartment in his wallet, he's got, all organised, and he's just got a bag of white powder, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's baking soda.
Like, what the?
Never know when you're gonna need a bit of flour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he goes, oh, it's cat. I was like, oh right, is it? Oh right, okay. And he's like, let's try some. I was a bit like, but I'm
Peer
drunk.
pressure.
But I'm drunk,
Yeah.
so I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You only live once. And then I just did it.
You probably only live once after
Surely
being
not.
cat.
I did it. Did a few ones, and then we come back into the game. This was, by the way, we did it at half time.
What game was this?
Versus Bury
It was
FC.
one where we won last minute. I think it was
West Ham.
West Ham.
Right.
Recently.
That was recent.
Oh, was it? No, it mustn't. It mustn't have been West Ham.
Last
No,
week's
it's
ago.
when we
Was
won.
it,
It's when we won last minute.
International. Was it in the Prem? Or-
Prem, I don't know.
Was it
Can't
against
remember.
Villarreal?
No, it went that long ago. It wasn't actually that long
So it was
ago.
quite recent.
Probably
It
Rashford.
was like
then.
a month or two
last
ago.
minute.
Was it Rashford?
Oh well, if it was a month. then
Ronaldo?
yeah.
Was it Ronaldo?
I think it was.
Yeah.
But we did it, and then I came back out, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, shit, this is kicked in, because there's so many people at the ground all chanting, just lick my hand.
No, you went like
You
I
that.
think the
Have it worn
ketamine's
off.
still in the system.
Yeah. So I come out
He's
to the
only been Irish.
game, I go up the stairs, everyone's there, and I feel like everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, why the fuck is everyone looking at me? And everyone's chanting all these songs, and it's all like going through my head. All the lights are proper like beaming down on my eyes, and I'm looking at the players. I feel like I'm watching the TV, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then we scored, and then there's a fucking drunk guy next to me who goes, he kept on saying to me the whole game, if we score, mate, see that guy with the bobble hat down there? This was like a guy 10 rows down. He's like, see that guy with the bobble hat down there? He's getting it. He's getting it. So I'm like, all right, I'll join him, mate. Why not? I'm having fun. And then we score, and the guy, I shit you not, the guy stands on the chair, dies, and then everyone's like celebrating. I'm like, okay, I want to get in on this. So I dive. I kind of didn't make it, and landed on some woman in front of me, which was a bit awkward. But I didn't really think about it because we was all buzzing off our tits.
WWE.
I like to imagine it's like a perfect like dolphin dive, or like a flying
Yeah,
squirrel.
he was amazing,
Like a
and
swan.
then mine was just like shit. Mine was really shit. So
He just dives in the opposite direction. He just takes out a family of three.
I dive backwards.
It's like all the kids just
Uh,
Practice that
No.
you started diving forward.
He's not an ultra.
No, but yeah, I did. That's the only time I'll ever do it. I
Do you guys have any?
Well, it's banging stories
Oh.
to be fair.
Thank you.
I would have
Good
thought
story.
Coke could be worse than Ket, but
Nah, Coke doesn't really do anything
is
to you.
that just calm?
Like Coke, it's not calm. It makes you
Focused.
Like so, cat. If you do too much, you can. There's this thing called a cat hole. KO. Is that what you call
Right,
it?
so ketamine is just a bit like drunk, but more drunk.
Yeah, but
Cocaine gives you energy.
but if you
Yeah,
if you take too much of it, you feel like you're in a hole and you can't get
Yeah,
out.
so like with cocaine, you'd usually snort like a line of it, but with ketamine, you wouldn't. You have like a topper or a case.
Yeah,
K.
K. Yeah, because if you do like a line of ket, you're gonna feel like you're in a hole. Like there's this thing called ketamine therapy, and have you heard of Theo Von? I don't know if you've heard of Theo Von. He's this guy, he's a comedian, and he did it because he's like really struggling with issues, and like he fell out of his chair, and he was like struggling to get back up. He could see his like dead dad and stuff like that. Like if you do too much of it, mate, you're fucked. But luckily I didn't do too much. But coke just makes you lively and like active. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't like make you fucked. It just makes you feel alive.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it should be illegal? Legal?
It depends on the user, innit? Like,
I think it depends on the
I
drug.
don't know,
to be
man.
honest.
If you could have it like prescribed to like a healthy
Yeah.
amount, then I suppose.
Yeah, like ketamine. That shouldn't like that should be legalized.
I don't think there should ever be a point where it's like, I think this person needs horse tranquilizer. Like, I don't think there's any doctor.
That guy right there.
Yeah.
He needs a dose.
But in terms of weed, do they give weed to children with ADHD? Oh, that's what it is. That's what medication is for
Do they?
ADHD. Yeah, it's just like edibles, really. It's like tiny controlled edibles. Like they give them with children who really struggle with ADHD, who are like 4 or 5 years old,
Yeah.
and they're just constantly running around. They cannot focus. They give them like
Just
these.
give you toddlers.
Yeah.
Spliff.
Yeah.
CBD is legal, but
Yeah.
THC is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
THC.
Well, they did a study where they gave 2 people both with social anxiety, one THC, one CBD, and then made them get up and talk in front of a big crowd of people, and only had CBD actually from that.
Yeah, because CBD is the healthy side.
Yeah, it's a controlled
in
amount, I
weed.
think. Isn't it?
Yeah, because I've had THC liquid before, like you know when you sick.
Yeah.
So there's THC liquid and a CBD liquid. CBD liquid relieves so much stress. Like you'll have it. Like, if you're an anxious person, you suffer with anxiety or something. Like if you have CBD oil liquid, like it's so good for you. Like my mate, like proper bad on anxiety and stuff, and I got him CBD liquid for an e-cig, and it's like literally helped him so much. But with THC liquid, bro, that's bad. Like.
Probably it's just like mostly spice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what
spice.
everyone says, and it's kind of. I did it in year 11 in a toilet because my mate, we would all go to the toilets and you know, vape and stuff. And then this kid goes, "Oh yeah, I got a new music like my mate," and he's like, "Oh well, he wasn't there at the time." And I was like, "Oh right, and what liquid is it?" He's like, he's named some tropical liquid or something. I was like, "Okay." I have a few talks. I was like, "Bro," and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's THC. I forgot to tell you." I was like, "Bro, it's THC," and I go into a science lesson. Everyone's looking at me, staring. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just laughing my head off. But
So
nah.
basically, the moral of the story is don't accept drugs off strangers.
Oh, it's just e-cigs of strangers in the
Yeah.
school
No, he was my mate.
bathrooms.
He was my mate though.
He
He
said
was
not
my
at the
mate.
time.
I've heard CBD
mix
like
after that.
oil,
Yeah.
like can cure cancer and stuff like that. It's like proper
That's
good
really
for you.
a
good for
really
you.
deep topic though, because like it's all about cancer. People theorise that the government and people have known the cure and treatments for cancer for thousands of years. And the thing is, the reason why the government is not letting out what the cure for cancer is that the human lifespan would go to like 160 average human life. Yes, now the average age is about 80 years old.
To be honest, I'd rather live to 80 than 160.
Exactly, but if we all as a human race, the biggest problem with the human race right now is population.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's doubled in the last, I think, 14 years. It's doubled. And that's a massive issue because that will continue to double.
Yeah. So
It's the point. I mean, you might have homeless people in streets and stuff. It's like it's already a massive issue, and cancer, as bad as it sounds, it's helping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's if without it, things will be a lot worse. And I know that sounds horrible, but if I don't know, it's a weird topic though to talk into.
Do you think there should be any limit to the amount of kids you're supposed to have?
Oh, we're not gonna be
no.
like China here, mate, because like you can't.
There'd
You
be
can't.
some places who'd say, "Oh, if you have more kids, you get rewarded for it."
Well, that's another issue
Yeah,
entirely.
yeah.
isn't it?
Where does it end?
People have
back in, like,
kids, so other people can have kids, if that makes sense.
But in China, there's a massive issue with too many men. I think there's 70% to 30%
More girls
ratio
in here.
of men.
Need some more girls.
There's a 70% to 30% ratio of men to women, and that's because families in China want their second name to be passed on. So they don't. They say they detect a girl baby and just go and get it aborted.
There's always been problems with like having like the level of kids, whether it's gendered or not.
Yeah.
So like.
Move the mic more towards
we
you.
we
An example
signaled
of it.
to Josh to move to the mic, and he instead of putting his mouth to the mic, he just moved closer but kept his mouth away.
I just realised there's gonna like just before you
Shuffles
speak.
over.
I just realised that when we was like talking about stuff, when Joe was over here talking, we're not gonna hear any of that.
We'll probably hear him faintly in the distance.
Yeah.
And it'll cause our IT guy to
Carry on.
completely freak out.
Yeah. I think like one of the best like I guess not recent but kind of recent examples of problems with like overpopulation is probably like Germany back during the World War II times. You would actually get paid to
Yeah.
have kids. Like if you had 3 or 4 kids, you'd get paid money, because you'd have to get a loan out to like obviously feed them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to pay that back if you had a certain amount of kids.
That's just like benefits though, isn't it?
When was this?
Yeah,
though?
but this was back in like 1940s Germany.
Like after the war ended.
No,
Just
1940s.
pre-war,
was
like,
was it after war?
Yeah, no, but
It
you
was
said
pre-war, Hill's whole thing. It was
Alright.
basically we need more kids to either provide for households or to obviously be soldiers for him.
Yeah.
And his whole idea was, well, we'll give you say like 4,000 marks or something like that, and it's a loan, so you have to pay it back. But if you have 4 kids, you don't have to pay it back. You can just keep it.
Yeah.
So it obviously made people want to have more kids, and things like that in different countries. You're trying to get power out of it. Is like that's going to be a growing concern. The thing with China as well as people want to pass their name down. The population in China grows. You can see how it probably correlates with the growth of like the economy there. It's gone from nothing to massive so quickly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude.
I'd like to. Sorry, I just think we should hear a bit from So I'd like to.
Let's go back to Ben Jones.
Yeah, I'd like
Ben
to-
Jones will know
Jones
about it.
Ben Jones said we should.
I was
move.
actually gonna say Noah, but I do realise Ben did say.
Ben did say.
Ben
come
did
back
say
to
he was
me.
gonna think of a story.
I do have a story.
Oh
I
my
do
God.
have a story. I do have a story. I
Yeah.
do have a story.
Yeah, but-
When you know Cub Scouts?
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Cub Scouts. Cub Scouts.
This is gonna be so shit.
You have green
Uh,
papers, right?
you know I used to go on like trips.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went to Weymouth.
Oh, that sounds
With it was very exciting.
Where's
It's a good question. I think down south.
Completely ignored it.
I think it's down south. Not too sure though.
Did you go up or did you go down? That's the question.
You don't know when you're in a car, do you?
Yeah, this is why we're not letting him speak.
More dodgy.
I was like 6 at the no, not 6. I was like 8, 9 at the time. I don't know. I don't remember this.
Continue with the story. Enough of waiting.
Right. So Jives, the knockoff Twix,
Oh yeah.
No.
the Aldi brand
So
Twix.
much better.
Jive
best.
They are so much better than Twix.
No, because if you get called a jive eater.
Can I just say,
Yeah, that's a compliment.
Weymouth is a seaside town in Dorset,
Down
southern
south.
England,
Down south.
Dude,
So I had a 12-pack of Jives.
Just imagine Ben Jones at the back of a bus with a 12-pack of giants in his hand.
I was fat at the time as well, which makes it more entertaining.
Well fed, man, well fed.
Big bone, please.
That's so funny, man.
So I've got my Jives. They're in my bag. We then come back from a day out to, I can't remember, wherever we might have been. We were obviously in Weymouth, but you do, yeah. So we got back. My suitcase is open, ripped
Jives
open.
gone.
The Jives, it's an empty, like the outer packet. All the Jives inside gone.
No.
Who did it?
The
You got
jive.
thieved.
This is the thing. We never found out.
To this day.
But he was a mastermind. This guy was a mastermind. Okay, he hid the individual wrappers around the site. We'd be playing Tig somewhere, and there'd just be a Jive wrapper there.
Final one of the packet at the end of the hunt.
It was devastating.
He's just like looking from a rooftop, laughing, just like.
This guy was a genius.
I bullied this kid. That's made my day.
Jesus.
Do you reckon he could be like supernatural? Because no mere child is.
He could well be. He could well be. I think it could have been one of the adults.
Yeah, one of the two.
Probably, yeah.
6-year-old man.
Joking with the fat kid.
It could be.
Ben, do you have any interest in
Actually, don't. I went to a normal school,
nothing?
and I didn't go on
boring.
Robin.
There's
I didn't
no-
go on the Robin Hood thing or whatever.
there's no
I
such
did
thing
go
as
somewhere. I
normal.
did go somewhere like an adventure place, but I have no weird stories.
Nothing.
Pretty bog standard.
I've got a kind of eventful primary school.
Go on.
I had a brick thrown at my head.
Right.
Deserved.
That explains a lot. That
Deserved.
explains a lot.
In year 6,
Deserved.
right after SATs, and immediately my grades went down in high school.
So after,
Correlation.
after the break point, there's just a graph and his grades just
It just
slowly
slips.
decline.
But
And
like,
the hole in
you
his
know,
head
you just
was
like you piss about, you play fight, you like can punch someone across the fucking.
play fighting
Yeah.
with a brick.
Yeah.
What
Well,
if
like,
they pretend to throw a brick
they,
at this
they,
kid?
they built like a climbing frame like on that year, and it just opened like the 3rd day into it being open. So I was, do you know, you just like scrap a kid because you said something smart than him, and he's like, he thinks he's the shit.
Yeah.
He just turned around, picked up this brick, and lobbed it at my head.
Oh,
I've
seems
still
like
got
a
scar
valid
for it.
response.
I went into high school's like induction day with a bandage. It made it look like I had like head surgery. Like
I'm sure that helped making friends.
that's on primary school.
I'm sure that helps making friends.
I've got a cool story about primary school.
Go on. Does it involve
So-
drugs?
That's
the first time.
First day year 3.
The first time we did.
No. So in primary school, there's this kid we didn't like called Ewan,
You and the poo.
and we called him Ewan the Pooin, and we actually got in trouble. We actually got called bullying, but he was a prick. Like he was a really big dickhead.
What year
And
was this?
This was like we never liked him, but this was like year 3. We got called in a meeting, and then they all told my parents and their parents that we all call him Ewan the Pooin. My dad laughed, so we got in trouble. But basically, we was all like, alright, let's sort it out. And then there was this field, right? Do you know the big fields? But there was houses outside of the field.
Yeah.
Okay, but there was hedges, so we didn't know it was houses. Like we had no clue. And then one time we're at the back corner of the field. Yeah. And Ewan's there. And we're like, oh, come on, Ewan, let's try fucking escape school, because why not? So then we're all like getting twigs and shit and like taking them out. And we make a hole. And it leads into some woman's back garden. So we're like, oh shit, we've finally done it. What do we do now?
Shaka.
And then Kyle, have some respect.
You won.
Alright, and then we was like, okay, we've escaped, but what are we actually gonna do? And it was like, oh, go on then, Ewan. And then it was like,
You let Ewan escape.
no, yeah, we.
Ewan's on the loose.
Ewan. If he ever hears this fucking podcast, he's actually gonna cry because he was a prick.
We just go and knock
Yeah,
at the door.
and I want him to know that he was a prick.
Oi.
But he was a prick. I like you, Ewan. I like this Ewan.
Thank you.
I don't like any of
Not
you.
Ewan's a
Ewan.
very
This
unique
Ewan was
name.
I know.
I've never heard of a
Welsh.
Ewan before.
Smells so weird.
My
But-
cousin's called Ewan, but it's spelled with a W.
But yeah, we sent
Cool story.
Ewan first, which got us in shit. So we was like, Ewan, you go first. And he's like, alright, I've done it, guys. And he's there. And then like he just stood there like kicking a ball about that's in the back garden. Woman comes out. What the hell? I'm like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, shit. I'm at the back. I'm sending out my mates. Of course I ran.
Yeah, left
I-
you in the period. Yeah.
And then we got put in a meeting, and then we was all like, oh, you scared an old woman, and Ewan had to write a whole letter. I think it was like a 2-page letter to this poor old woman.
So in
I
fact,
felt-
I'd be scared of you in the period I was.
Do you know what the worst thing about him was? Do you know the jumpers you had in primary school?
Yeah.
He'd always be really snotty.
Oh.
So he'd always get his
Wait,
sleeve,
chewy sleep.
put
What
it-
is that? What
he'd
is that? Chewy
he'd
sleep.
put it over his hand
So
and
sogging.
put it over his hand and like wipe his nose, and you'd always look at him and he's already got like stains on his arms from when he wiped his
Gross.
snotty nose. He was actually he was a prick.
I like to imagine it. You and the Poons actually know her. Just from, like,
No, he was
Right.
blonde.
Embarrassment.
He was
I'd
blonde.
say
He was
you and
chunky.
Poon probably in some type of mental hospital for the trauma.
He thought he was amazing. Like he was a big dickhead. Like it was not like he was like picking on some little kid. He was taller than me. Always used to like take the piss out of me. He thought he was cool because he did karate, but no one thought he was cool.
You and the Poons.
So he'd like, do you know what he did? He'd gained a belt. Yeah, he gained a belt.
Like condos for the lads.
He gained a belt and he'd like show it off in assembly. He'd show it off in assembly.
Oh, when they stand up on
Yeah, do you know when they like,
yellow stripe
like
and
we
stuff.
had
Show and
Star
tell.
of the Week where they like put someone up, but he'd always go, yeah, can you like present me up here? And then the fucking head teacher would have the belt and be like, Ewan got his blue belt, and he's like, cheers guys, thank you, and then he'd go off stage like thinking he thinks he's the shit. He probably still does.
Is this primary school?
Yeah, primary school.
Yeah, there's something similar like that happened in my primary school, but this kid got like brought up in front of the entire like assembly.
I was
of
that
just-
kid.
in primary school, and he was like,
Forced to eat a cake.
it was not forced to eat cake, so it wasn't Matilda.
That's not Romeo.
Threw him over
Yes,
a massive fence. Nah, but this kid's like, he's gonna show you some karate today, because he's just got his like whatever belt, long belt or something, I don't know. And this kid, and the teacher was like, never use this.
She
Actually,
just gets one of like the reception kids who kicks
it's like
out
drop
of them
kicks.
in front of everyone.
Plays bowling with the assembly. But nah, the teacher was like, never do this. Only use it in absolute defense. And this kid just started going for it. This kid was like doing like proper Bruce Lee midair, fly kicking, taking it really seriously. Kicking the midair, and he was just kept on going for it. And this teacher like grabbed him by the waist. Well, it's okay, sorry, calm down, that's enough. He kept on going. He's like sort of like he just kept on going with these like massive kicks. I was like, okay, just calm down, Scott. He just kept on going. Yeah.
In primary school, did anyone else have any nicknames here?
Mine was Niall Birdshit. Yeah.
Niall Birdshit. That is fucking class.
It's good, isn't it?
Mine was Joe Wheelerman.
Joe Wheelie Pin.
Well, mine was like quite the same. I was Yogurt Boy because you know them fruit, right?
Oh, I already know
I
where
had a
this is
fruit
going.
and I just slammed it with my fist against the table and it just splattered all over. So the rest of my life I was Yogurt Boy.
I did that.
Young
Yeah.
boy.
There's always that one person who slams a fruit on a table.
Oh
No,
my
what
God,
you
look, it's
you
Yogurt
you
Boy.
like squoze it, didn't you, to make it pop?
Oh my
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I
never
usually
did that.
aim it at
I
someone,
just
but it hit me one time.
swang it at the corner of the table.
Yeah, yeah.
I reckon Noah was tremendously bored.
I was called Natalie.
Just looked like an
For
athlete.
no reason, they just called him
He looks like an
Natalie.
athlete to be fair.
No,
If any
you're
of
a
your
woman.
mates, you'll know I was called Natalie.
Well, that's better than
That's
natto.
Were
just
you a
normal
bit of a
Noah.
fruity child?
Yeah.
I can tell.
I had
Should lick
multiple
people's
names.
ears.
Was Queen one of them? Yeah, but like, what happened? Because you haven't said much. Did anything interesting happen in your primary school?
Apart from the bullying.
Apart from the immense bullying and being called a
No.
it's just been deleted from his head. Trolling.
It has. That's why I can't remember anything. It's just been deleted.
The Karate Kid knocked him out. Can't remember this since.
How tall was I? I was probably about 4 foot.
I was like, that was me.
I was
Was
an
you?
absolute midget.
Yeah.
That was bloody massive.
Can't all be Wigan. But we don't want to be Wigan.
I'm a Wigan.
Next topic.
Wigan.
Next topic, Wigan. Just
Wigan.
Wigan,
Right,
Wigan is a
Ask
way.
Noah.
What do we think about
Oh,
him?
should we do Ask Noah? Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, do the Ask
Shit,
Noah. Do
it's
the
that
Ask
time of the
Noah.
week, everyone. It's Ask Noah.
Welcome to Ask Noah.
The question is, are trees broccolis for dinosaurs now? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, definitely.
His face lit up.
Go in depth.
Because if you eat broccoli, you grow, don't you? Like,
Right,
What
well,
the
does
fuck
broccoli
does that
have
mean?
wood in it?
Makes
No.
no
That's
sense.
nothing to do with the trees part.
yeah, but it's basically like wood.
Yeah, but they've ate broccoli the whole life now. Like, they eat that, like, they're just eating trees all the time out other meat.
Yeah, but we're broccoli.
Yeah, but no, what about the brown bit of trees?
Thanks,
That's
Harry.
green on broccoli.
Okay, next question. Next question.
Are we moving on? Right.
We've, we've only got 2 questions, so
It's
we're
very
We're
lively.
leaving it. We've only got 2 questions. We're leaving the broccoli question to go a bit political. What are your thoughts on Donald Trump?
Ooh.
I think he's orange like this, Mike. Bit mate, but quite like the bloke. He's quite nice.
He's
No, as a
alright.
Trump advocate, we should cancel him. Get him.
I thought when you said it's going to get a bit more
Trump
political,
2024.
I thought you were going to say something like, "What do you think of the 1945 China massacre?" or something like that.
I've got a question.
What are your
dictator.
opinions on Cambodian?
I've got a question for
Pol
Noah.
Pot.
I've got a question for
sounds-
Noah. Who'd you rather prefer to rule your country? Boris Johnson or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And
Why?
he's orange. And
Agreed.
I just like the colour orange. It's
He
just,
is actually a better president than Boris is
I
a
think
prime
both of
minister.
them
He would have
By
handled
far.
Brexit
You could-
better. We wouldn't have been paying like £1.70 for a Mars bar.
He would have been like, "We
Yeah.
need to build a
Who the
wall
fuck
around
buys
Wigan."
Mars bars?
Weymouth.
Whoa.
Get
He
rid
built
of
a-
Milton
That's
Keynes.
offensive, Joe. I'm
If
sorry,
anything
Joe.
needs to go, it's Norwich, right?
Nah.
On the
Norwich is
Wigan
grim.
sandwiches,
Put a
alright.
60-foot
No,
wall
Norwich
around
is
Milton
Oldham.
Keynes.
Yeah, Wigan
Oldham
sandwich.
needs to go.
Wigan
Oldham
sandwich.
is great.
Some of the pie.
Wigan kebab.
Bro,
Wigan
Wigan
kebab
kebab, it's
is-
not a sandwich.
Wigan
I thought it was
That's
a sandwich.
offensive, art.
Bro.
It's bread though.
I know, but it's still a Wigan kebab.
Anyway, for next podcast, if you want to send in any questions for Ask Noah, email the unrelated podcast at ostm.co.uk.
That's the class. That's the
Joe's got
place.
something to say.
I got a hot topic.
Ask
Go on.
questions about very dumb
So-
shit.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but in my opinion, a cucumber is more of a watery melon than a watermelon is.
Nah, because
Yeah,
what?
right, yeah.
Nah,
Think
nah.
about it.
Watermelon's
I
much
bet
more
If
Nah.
you've
watery.
got someone who didn't have a clue what either of these things were, and you give them both of them and said which one's a watermelon, they'd say the cucumber.
No, they
Yeah.
wouldn't. No,
No, the watermelon's
no,
way
no.
more watery.
Because it's got like thick skin on the watermelon, and melons have thick skin.
Cucumber should be a melon.
Have you ever watched Aladdin?
I agree.
You know when he
You
rubs
can-
it and eats
chew.
it, have you seen how much water comes off it?
I can back that. I can back that.
Yeah.
Because
Should we buy
cucumber's
it?
got that one section in the middle that is basically pure
Yeah,
water.
I think
Yeah,
a
but-
cucumber
So that-
should
you
be
can name
classed
that
as a
around
what?
that.
As a melon.
A cucumber basically is a melon.
Yeah.
You got like a Q, and it's like in the shape of a cucumber.
What
You-
are
you
you
with
on
me?
it?
You with
Full
me? here?
cue, like a
Nah.
full
At the end
cue.
of the day, a cucumber's not a fucking watermelon.
It is. Well, it's not. It's not a watermelon.
It should be a melon.
Nah,
Should
okay,
be a melon.
it's a fruit. It's a
Agreed.
vegetable.
That's There's loads of
Is
like,
it fruit
there's loads
or
of like
vegetable?
fruits that people
a
think
fruit.
are vegetables.
If
and
Tomatoes
it's
like-
if,
one of
if
them.
it's
yeah,
got
it's
seed,
tomato or vegetable.
Tomato's supposed to be a fruit, isn't it?
Tomato.
Fruit.
If it's
Yeah.
got seeds, it's a fruit.
yeah.
I
That's the
think
one.
that's
That's
the
the
one.
one.
There you go. Cucumber, it's got seeds in it.
So it's
Yeah.
a fruit, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got seeds. Those
It's
like
very vegetable-like
Should
fruit.
be classed as a
Peppers.
Do you
there's
know what
those
else
white
is vegetable?
stripes in the cucumber. You know, the sense of the cucumber. There's like white.
On a cucumber.
Yeah,
you
they
mean
have like these
watermelon?
the white strips.
eating cucumber to watermelon anyway.
Nah.
Cucumber is good.
Do you know what?
Harry.
Whatever.
It's too different to compare.
Cut it into slices, like eat the fucking stick.
I eat that shit like.
Yeah, just eat it off the
And you
stick.
one of them weird
Big
people that
bite off the
fucking
stick.
box
Yeah.
it, like,
No, you
have
just
seen
grab
them
the stick
people
and
make
put it in your
cucumber
mouth.
sticks? That's the weirdest thing ever.
The thing is, I think
Oh, like-
pineapple.
like-
It's not
Same
right.
Pineapple,
It's
just
not
like
right.
pineapple and
You
No,
strawberries.
you get
have
them
to
when
take
you
a
like-
bite
I
out
have
of
a
the thing
very
and slice it.
controversial
No,
opinion
if you
about pineapple.
do it like
Why?
vertically like that, you
Wait
can like
till
dip
you
it in
eat
hummus.
Nah.
Yeah.
You can do that with carrot sticks. That's fine by me.
Yeah, but it's
cucumber,
the
nah.
same with cucumber, but
Carrot
it's
sticks
just
and icing.
Icing.
Cake icing.
icing.
Nah, carrot sticks and
No.
hummus.
I'll tell you what's nice.
I swear to God, get
Icing.
icing for a cake and dip it.
You're
with carrot in
fucked
it.
in the
Burger,
end.
No.
Burger King
Alright.
chips in a Burger King Oreo like milkshake.
Yeah,
Or just-
people-
Yeah,
people
but then
Just
you have
chips
to
in
fund
any
the
milkshake.
Oreo milkshake.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
dip
but
stuff-
it's worth it.
People
It's,
dip chips in milkshake.
yeah, and
Why?
it works. And it's absolutely
I've
amazing.
tried with a McFlurry once at McDonald's. It was average at best.
I got a chicken mayo with no mayo and then just dipped that in a strawberry milkshake.
Right, you're
Has anyone tried the chicken Big Mac?
I have.
It was a chicken big.
Yeah, it's a new one.
It's
I
not
don't know.
actually that
You know what,
good.
it's still a
It's
ketchup.
not
Doesn't
actually
appeal
that
to
good.
me.
Apparently, like my girlfriend FaceTimed me and tried it yesterday.
She was
I
like,
only
"That's
have-
a goal."
I only ever had my first ever Big Mac like the other week. That sounds mad, but it's true. And she had it and she said the Big Mac better. than the giant.
Regular Big Mac.
I
is
can
better than
imagine the Big
chicken
Mac will be a lot better.
It's like a double Big Mac now, isn't there?
I have a really
Because the
controversial
Big Mac goes
opinion
with the
about
Big Mac
pineapple.
sauce and the
This makes me
chicken.
want McDonald's to be honest.
Can I
Yeah.
talk about
Do you go to
pineapple?
McDonald's now?
I'm McDonald's
no,
free for a
you
month.
got
I
free.
haven't had McDonald's for a month.
Go on, Niall.
I want to talk about pineapple. It annoys me.
Why? Why is
The
it?
flavour of it is exquisite. It's the best flavour of any fruit ever.
It is very
Yes.
The
nice.
texture
Refreshing.
is disgraceful.
Nah, I like it.
No, the texture's good.
The texture, if it's smooth
Of the actual flake fit, when you just slice it.
when you eat it, edible pineapple. No, not
Have
good.
you had like pineapple
just-
rings where they're like kind of like cooked in
I
some
love
sort of way?
They're like
Oh,
canned pineapples.
Dried pineapples, top tier.
I don't know if it's dried, but it's
Dried
definitely
mangoes
cooked
would
some
be really
sort of
good.
way.
Any dried fruit's really cool, but like
Dried
cool.
fruits.
It's really nice, but pineapple, like raw pineapple, is just like it's some of it's smooth, some of
What's
it's
the-
like
just
really
suck it?
wrinkly and texture. It just messes me
Things
up.
like another thing in primary school, every kid could be like, "Oh, you have a fucking penguin biscuit. Oh, well, where's your dessert? My dessert was like dried apricot." I just get bullied
I was-
for it.
I always
One
had the
with fruit
devil's
binder.
lunches in a...
Fruit binder was top tier at primary school, mate.
I don't like the flavour. of
And
fruit.
also like the raisins with like the yogurt on the outside.
Those were
No, like the
fucking-
strawberry with the
Oh,
yogurt.
I was
never
They were
allowed
top
fruit
tier. I was so
binder.
jealous.
How did you
when
eat
I
your
did.
wine? Did you
My
roll it
parents
into a
put a
ball
choke
and
on
you
it.
eat it like...
Groovy bars.
Mm.
You've had a groovy bar.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
ones
they
with
were
the
good as well.
Smarties in it.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
top tier.
Groovy
Oh,
bars.
do you know?
So nice.
Do you know those ice creams that have Smarties in the handles?
Yes.
Those,
Oh
those
my
are not made
gosh.
anymore.
Are they
They've
not?
been
They're
cancelled ages ago. You can't
What
find
about
them
those?
anymore.
What, it's
Stop
like a
revolution.
yellow tub. It's got like those.
The balls in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Flipper balls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
were
were
nice.
shocking.
They were good.
They were great.
Just go into the ice cream van and get in a little
Yeah, and then
rubbish
when it
can.
melted at the end.
get it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. You go to the ice cream van. Oh, what do you want? And you get a little rubbish bin of fucking little ice
Nah,
balls
no.
over an ice cream.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
They-
and then
they
when
were
it
nice.
melted at the
They
bottom.
were nice, but having that over an ice cream, you're dreaming, mate.
Well, no, because it takes. You could have it for ages.
Even a slush, you'd have a
And
slush
then
over that.
the
if
liquid at the
anything.
end.
A slush.
I don't know
is
why
better.
you go to an ice cream van and you don't get a 99 flake.
Well,
Exactly. Harry agrees.
Sherbet 99.
Even better.
A sherbet 99.
Like,
Yeah, they're the best.
you
Daddy!
get a Calippo
I paid
little
£1.50 for an
fucking
ice
trash
cream.
The
can.
prices are extortionate now.
Are they?
£1.20 for
I paid £1.50.
like top tier ice cream every topping you fucking want. Now it's like fucking £2.50.
How much? Wait, for a 99?
99, like the whole point. It's
Why is it called a
99?
99
It's
then?
not 99p anymore.
Disgusting.
Is it? No.
Do you know what is unbelievably good? Do you know the very rare occasion you go to an ice cream van and they put that red sauce on the ice cream?
Yeah, but then they don't put hardly put any.
But that red sauce, there's something in that, bro. That's got a crack in
We
there. or
we
something.
used to get that, and then they got a new guy because the old guy got deported.
Right, no, something that I wanted to bring up with you. Your parents were too scared to give you a fruit wind up, but they were okay with sending you to school. Then you got a brick thrown at your head.
Yeah, the kid
Yeah.
who threw a brick at me was meant to be my mate, but then he did cricket and fucking cricket balled the brick at me.
Cricket balled at the brick. Did he bounce off the floor? Did he fully do a wind up?
Fuck knows. All I know is that I didn't feel anything
Just
in
a
my
full
head for
run
like
up.
3
Whenever I
hours.
think of it, I see flashing lights.
I didn't feel pain from it, and then I just put my hand on my head and there was just blood everywhere. I was like,
Hmm.
Well, that's that kind of good.
injury.
Yeah.
doesn't sound healthy, that.
Doesn't sound
No.
Go
But
on, Jack, what you
the fruit wine thing was just off my parents like thinking, right, we think you're a bit autistic, so
Don't choke. Shall we wrap this
You
up?
don't- you don't
Let's
win,
Let's wrap it up. Let's give it a break.
Wrap
Let's
it
wrap
up,
it
wrap
up.
it.
Let's give it a break. Let's
Wrap
wrap
it
it
up,
up
wrap it in.
Thank you for tuning in.
to the unrelated
Thanks, guys.
podcast.
That was amazing. How did we do that? That was off the In fact, should we just let Ben Jones finish it off? I think he's
Yeah, go on, Ben Jones.
Go on, Ben Jones.
Ben Jones.
And that is all from this week on the Unrelated podcast.
What did you say?